Hi everyone, my name is Priyanka and I'll be presenting on the Confeeg Quality Cubes module. So let's look at the agenda. First, we'll begin by looking at the problem statement, and then we'll understand the business impact of the problems of today's problems, and then we'll see how KKC can be used as a solution for these problems. And then we'll look at Confeeg Quality Cubes as an application itself and what are its features. So let's look at the problem statement. We understand that concrete industry itself, the concrete production itself is a very quality-driven industry. So unless and until you have the data and you have the proper analysis of the concrete which is being produced, you will not have the confidence, or the customer will not have the confidence in the company itself. So if we see in today's environment, most of the data that is being captured, that is the test data, which is being conducted on several materials to create the concrete itself, is being captured in Excel sheets or in manual logbooks, which is prone to create a lot of inefficiency. It could cause duplication of data and also inaccuracies in the data itself. Now, we know that if you are aware of the concrete industry itself, the calculation of the mix design itself is a very complex process. So for such a complex process, doing the calculations using the Excel sheets and the very base level calculation methods will not be sufficient. And also it poses a challenge to analyze this data. When you have all the data in such disparate sources, it's very hard to get the data into one place and have a proper analysis, when even the analysis process itself is a very complex process, because this requires statistical analysis for mixed designs. Now, let's see, based on these challenges, how it would impact the business itself. Now, naturally, it would decrease the product quality itself, that is the concrete quality itself, because the test results and the mixed designs itself will be compromised, and finally, the product, which is the concrete itself, which is produced, will not be up to mark, and potentially it could lead to customer dissatisfaction and also probably loss of reputation too. And due to the inefficiencies in recording of data through manual entries and through Excel sheets, the analysis will not be done in a proper manner. So it could increase the labor costs and also the operational overheads too. And having data in such disparate sources, it will not provide for proper, it will most probably would not adhere to the regulatory standards and the reporting requirements. So this exposes the plant to legal risks, fines, and potential shutdowns. Now, having the data in such in a basic level way, in the manual data entry way, it lacks the ability to have a proper complex analysis like statistical analysis. Now let's look at how Confeeg Quality Cubes proposes as a solution. Confeeg Quality Cubes is the software solution which has been built on the Confeeg platform specifically for concrete plants itself. It it optimizes the quality control process itself so that we are ensured that there is consistency and high quality concrete which is being produced. The way Confeeg Quality Cubes does this is through what we could call it as 4 pillars of the Confeeg Quality Cubes itself, which is through centralized data management, through IS code compliant quality testing, through automatic mix design generation, as well as providing the complex analytical insights. Now let's look at all the features of Confeeg Quality Cubes. Now, we have discussed about the 4 pillars, right? Like the 4 pillars I've mentioned. The first of which is the centralized data management. Under centralized data management, data management, we have collections like customers and projects, RMC plans, site locations. We have material testing collections, and we have mixed design collection, as well as concrete testing collections too. And we also have another collection called as calibration, which aids in the calibration of the equipment, all the equipment which is used in the production of concrete. And we have dashboards and reports which would aid in the process of the complex analytical, like mostly the statistical analysis. And also we have core features of Konfeeg itself, which are the automations and integrations. Through automations, you can have your approval processes, workflows, or email reminders. All such automations can be done. And through integrations, you can connect the Konfeeg platform itself to your existing systems, that is the existing systems which you're already working with, or you can also scale your current business process with according to the business growth itself. So it allows for any integration with API integrations too. Now let's look at each of the main pillars of the Konfeeg Kwalllity Cube itself. So in the data management, we have Konfeeg Kwalllity Cubes allows for easy input of data. So if you can look at the screen grab we have of the Konfeeg Kwalllity Cube platform itself, you have a centralized view of all your collections here, and for any collection you can see all the digital records present on the screen itself. So it's very easy to access, very easy to understand, very easy to like it's a very simple way. It is arranged in such a simple way that any new person who's adopting the digital platforms for the first time would also be very easily be able to adopt it. So it basically acts as a centralized database. Now the next feature is the major feature which we would say about Konfeeg Kwalllity Cubes is the IS code compliant testing and generation of reports. Now KKC helps to digitize your entire laboratory process. So before we've looked at during the problem statement itself, right? So most of the testing which is done is either recorded manually in registers or manual data entries, or either stored in Excel sheets. Now having all of this data in a single digitized platform, it enables it to very easily understand all of the data itself. And if you look at all the collections we have created in the KKC, all the testing collections of each of the materials are designed based on Indian standard codes. So any values based on the data entries which are given into each of these collections, the output which is generated, that is the calculated outputs which are generated, are based on Indian standard codes. So you are assured of Indian standard compliance right away. Compliance with the Indian standard codes right away. So you can rest assured. And then KKC is easy to record quality parameters, and it will accurately generate the customized reports. So the generation of reports is also very instantaneous. So as soon as the data entry is done, you are ready to generate the report, which gives you a report output with all the calculated values, and each of these reports can be customized according to their business needs too. Now let's look at the third feature, which is the automated mix design. So if you are familiar with the concrete industry, the mix design itself is a very complex calculation process. So it involves a lot of parameters of different materials, the exposure conditions, and certain checks which are required to finally arrive at the final mix design of the concrete itself. So in Konfeeg Kwalllity Cubes, the mix design collection does all of that for you. So you only have to enter the data into the collection, into the mix design collection, that is all your material quantities, your densities, your water absorptions, and other parameters. And based on all of the parameters, it arrives at the final mix design, which is nothing but all the weights of each of the materials and the proportions it needs to get mixed in. So that is how the automated mix design works. And then finally, we have reports and dashboards. That is the complex statistical analytical reports are also produced. Now here on the screen, you can see the standard deviation report as well as the cubic sum report. So these reports are generally used to understand the quality of concrete itself. So you can understand the quality of the mix design of the concrete itself across different records, and finally, using this data itself, you can optimize the quality of the concrete, which further enhances your business, your business output itself. Now, finally, what is the Konfeeg Kwalllity Cubes difference? Using the Konfeeg Kwalllity Cubes difference, you can achieve efficiency, because all of the data is managed in one centralized database, and you have improved accuracy because all of the calculations are automated, and you will have no problem of manual errors or manual data entry. Now, finally, you have greater visibility, that is across all RMC plans and across all testing laboratories. You can have all of that in one digitized platform, and thus having a greater visibility. And through this reports and dashboards, where you can keep improving the quality of your mix design as you progress. Now, if you are looking for a QA/QC module for the concrete industry itself, you have to look no further than Konfeeg Kwalllity Cubes. Thank you.